the more we understand, the more we all are accepting.
Tell us a little bit about you. Tell us how you got here. Tell us, you just give us your life story in the beginning.
From the beginning?
Not the beginning, but anyways, however you want to do it.
Okay. I will share that though, when I did grow up in Blaine, I lived next door to a little girl who had Down syndrome that I babysat for. And I continue to contribute my willingness, or the fact that I love being a part of Special Olympics back to her. Her name was Robin, and we still have been able to stay in contact, which is fantastic.
Okay.
But it took away any of that fear I had, and just realizing her parents raised her they didn't give her a lot of excuses. She did a lot of things that her siblings were doing, and I just thought that was super cool, within her abilities, but they really didn't baby her too much.
Okay.
So years ago, we moved to Watertown. I wasn't sure what I was going to continue doing. I was a LPN previously, and I didn't know what I would continue doing. And so a neighbor had told me about an opening at the school, and I thought, well, I'll try it. I'll give it a whirl. And so I worked there for 1 year, and my son, so I have a son who we had been involved in Special Olympics. He is autistic, higher functioning, but we had been involved for quite a few years. So I was aware of the unified program.
You were. Okay.
And how much it had helped our life, and saw the changes within my son. And I wanted to be able to share that with so many other families. And I knew we didn't know what we didn't know until other parents helped us and kind of gave us directions and different things. So then after a year, I had enough confidence to ask administration if they would let me start a unified program. And they did. And that was about 8 years ago now. So.
Okay. The role that you're in now, paraprofessional. How does that play? What's a day look like as a paraprofessional for what you do, and then the paraprofessional that I say is the coach?
Yep. So I'm really fortunate as they saw our unified club growing. They saw that it takes quite a bit of time to be able to devote to this. So I'm able to be the resource room para, which gives me my own classroom. So then students know where to find me. But what happens in a typical school day in my room is that students that maybe need somewhere to go for a quiet place, they're struggling with some anxiety. They like to take their tests really, have a really quiet environment or a calming environment. And then also students need a little extra help with some of their work. I'm there to facilitate that. I'm there to help them.
And so how do you see your role in Special Olympics that are coming up, but how do you see a unified program in terms of what does it provide for access, opportunity, inclusion?
I love that you're asking me that question. I will tell you that everyone at our school says how much it has changed our school and for the students' lives, not only students with intellectual disabilities, but as the students without intellectual disabilities as well. These students are no longer by themselves at our school. They are in the hallways getting high fives, saying hello. I think they're the superstars of our school. Everybody knows them. They know their names. They love to even, during lunchtime, if there's some extra time, to go down to the gym and play sports with them, or have them in a gym class, or they really have taken them under their wings, but not, of course they would protect them if needed. And the anti-bullying campaigns we do as well. But they truly have gained friendships. The inclusion happens in so many ways. I think that the friendships that happen are genuine. They truly are. These kids are invited to high school graduations. They have so many to go to now they can't even get to all of them anymore. And it's a big deal if they come to yours. So that's awesome. But even within themselves, the students with intellectual disabilities have much stronger relationships with themselves. They're hanging out together outside of school. They're riding bikes to in each other's homes now, and the parents are getting connected a little bit more.
For the student who is general education, you talked about the entire student body. What do you think it does for that student?
I think it's acceptance. It's nothing to be afraid of. That's what I tell our club members. Their unified partners is somebody without an intellectual disability. And that's what I tell them. Like, these are things that you guys will be adults one day. You may have a child with an intellectual disability. You may be an aunt or an uncle. You may work with somebody, you know, it's nothing to be afraid of. You know, the more we understand, the more we all are accepting.
Can you tell me a little bit more about the confidence for the students that are on this team, for the students that are in the building? What has that done? What does that look like?
I have witnessed them in gaining confidence. I mean, that maybe they're willing to try a sport that they wouldn't have already tried previously, or they were told you can't do these things. But then I see them, you know, oh, I can do this. I can, you know, bounce a basketball. I can make a basket. I can do these things. And the more they practice, the better they get. The friendships are also, I think, help them gain confidence within. They'll now go to prom. They're not afraid to be out in, you know, the general part of the school, or doing the things that the typical kids are doing that maybe they felt they couldn't do before. They were too afraid to do it.
Okay.
I see them having confidence and advocating for themselves.
Okay.
Even with staff, even with challenges that might come up within their friend group. They're able to handle those things better and to have the confidence to make the right choices in life.
Thank you for that. You mentioned, or you touched on being a parent, okay, and you talked about your own. What do you think this experience has been for parents? If you might share.
I would love to, but I get a little emotional sometimes.
Okay.
So I have parents come to me to tell me I saved their child's life. That their child, you know, children are struggling, and it's hard to accept that you have a child with a disability. But this is showing them of all the things that they are possible. You know, that are possible. There's so many wonderful opportunities. Yes, it's hard to accept the fact that you have a child that maybe isn't going to hit those same landmarks as other kids, but there's so many things that they can do, and we're going to focus on what they can do. Okay,
thank you for sharing. How excited are you for this team to be able to participate in this world moment in the Special Olympics?
Yeah, I'm really excited, and it is such an incredible honor that I didn't ever anticipate that we would get this opportunity. I'm really excited. I have really good players.
Okay.
Both students with and without intellectual disabilities. We're a unified team. So I have a student that can dunk, that is an athlete.
Okay.
So they're fast, they're great, and the friendships are so fun to watch. And I think we should do well. I hope.
Okay. All right. Well, definitely something to watch.
Yeah.
You talked about the relationships, you talked about the community, but that sense of belonging. As a coach, you said this is a unified team, so you have different relationships, different people with different abilities. Okay. How do you foster that? How do you cultivate that to include everybody as they walk through those doors, as they walk in the gym?
They do it. Okay. I think so. During the school year, these are all members that are in our unified club during the school year, which we meet twice a month during school. And then we also play multiple sports. Basketball isn't our only sport. So throughout all of those relationships, and our school is smaller as well. We have a population of just over 500 students, 9th through 12th grade. So they really do get to know each other. We do other social events as well, but they know each other, and they have their own friendships, and they get to know each other well.
Okay. I'm coming back to this opportunity that's coming. What does it mean for your team? Are they excited about it? What was their reaction?
They're super excited, but I don't think they know the scale of what this will be. However, we've had some pretty amazing opportunities come up because of being chosen for this. We've had news stations at the school. We've had a commercial, an Unreal commercial was made with Kendall, one of our athletes, which is showing right now on Fox.
Okay.
If you see it. Obviously, this opportunity as well as many others. So I think we were just the Grand Marshals in the Grand Old Day Parade. Tomorrow we have the law enforcement torch run coming to our school, running through our town, which is a big thing for a little old water town. So I think they're getting it. I think they understand this is a really big honor. And we will represent Minnesota and Watertown to the best of our abilities.
What keeps you motivated? You talked about your students, you talked about the community or the community feel here in the building. You talked about your own child. What keeps you motivated?
The students.
Okay. How?
For sure. Because I can see them growing. I see them growing. I see them being more prepared for this world. I know that they're better because of this.
How does this create opportunities for students, not just while they're here, but after high school?
I think, one, the confidence that they gain for students with intellectual disabilities to get jobs, to be out in the community more, to be seen. They're not afraid to be seen anymore. A lot of them even continue to come back for the football games or different things. And then I just think it makes us the unified partners. They might be a boss someday who's willing to hire someone with an intellectual disability. They may, have a coworker. They're going to understand that they have abilities. They're not seeing disabilities. They're seeing their abilities.
Their virtuosities. Do you have any specific or any particular student over the years that just pops to your mind or comes to your brain that you know that this has had an impact or this revelation or wonderful moment? And I'm sure there's many, but is there anybody in particular, any student in particular that just leaps up?
I have a few.
Okay.
I think it's always such a pleasure when they graduate out of our program and want to still stay involved. So there's many of them that continue on after high school in different delegations to continue on. You never age out of Special Olympics. So you just move to a different delegation, basically. I love that they do that. And it, continues to create friendships. They'll have a social life. They're, out in the community, they're doing things. They're not just sitting down and playing video games. That's my biggest goal in this. And then as far as partners, there's quite a few who have just made this a part of their lives. I have students who've come back now and are actually teaching in special ed. So I love that. There's currently two that I can think of that have come back, and one is across the hall from me this year, and then another is up around Duluth teaching. I have other students who have had very successful of their own sports careers and played D1 and gone on, who have made that their job is going, or not their job, their education, and then their job will still focus on people with intellectual disabilities, some doctors, things like that. So, love it.
So I hope I hope you feel, I hope somebody shares with you the impact that you're having, not just for the students that will walk through the door in a few minutes, but just throughout life. You talked about somebody in Duluth. You talked about students a little bit everywhere. You talk about students not just that come to this gym, but students who are in, who are going to go on and live in various states, maybe in various countries, that you're opening their eyes to just the possibilities and the dreams. And to, like you said, not be afraid. I guess one of the last questions I would ask is, what do you hope that every student feels when they walk into this gymnasium?
Accepted.
Accepted.
Just for who they are.
Accepted for who they are.